No lights, no nothing. Nothing. That's just wrong. I talked to a neighbor the next day. He freaked out because he thought it was crashing. He didn't call. He was like, what the hell happened? On my way down, I was talking to my neighbor the next day. So anyway, I laid down. So other people did hear it. Other people did hear it because my neighbor that lives there, what the hell happened last night? What the fuck was going on? I'm like, dude, shut up. Just I'm out of my mind. Leave me alone. I'm like, well, thanks for the confirmation though. So anyway, I go to sleep. I'm actually sleeping now because the sun's coming up. So I'm sleeping, and I'm laying there. As I'm laying in bed, thinking, all right, the sun's coming. What's going to happen next? I go, okay, there's going to be a utility van fixing the wires in the alleyway or out front, in the front yard or the backyard. And that's the next thing they're going to do, to spy on you. And that's what I'm thinking in my head. That's what they're going to do. Because it always happens. It happened to me with another person. You know that I have experiences where there's a white van sitting out there. Another one related to UFOs, and another one related to drugs, where my friend worked. They were watching him, but he didn't do nothing. He went and gave him coffees and sandwiches and shit. And they left all pissed off. So anyway, so I know what happens, so I'm thinking, okay, this is what they're going to do to me, right? Since the helicopter came, they know where I am, they know where I live, so they're going to send out the personnel guys to bug the place and all this shit. I'm like, whatever, that's what I'm thinking in my head. So when I wake up in the morning, check and look for the white van or a utility van of some sort that's at this address, hooking up wires, shit like that. So I fall asleep. Okay, so I get up and I gotta go to work, and my head is spinning. I don't know. I looked out on the street and I looked in the back alley. There's no little black vans or anything. Couldn't figure it out. Didn't even really care. And then walked down the back steps. Now the back steps are wooden, and there's two flights of back stairs. Okay, so I go downstairs and I'm looking as I'm walking down, looking around, see if anybody eyeballing me. And as soon as I touch the ground, as soon as my feet hit the grass and the dirt, something happened. I don't know. I'm going to try to explain it to you. I hit the ground, and all of a sudden I was like out of my body, but I was in my body. It's sort of like I was walking astral traveling. I couldn't feel anything. I'm totally messed up in my head. I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't feel the wind. I couldn't feel the earth. I couldn't smell. I mean, I could smell, but I wasn't a part of this reality anymore. It was like I was looking down on it. I wasn't here. I wasn't my soul. Like, I'm walking, but my soul was not here. I don't know. It was weird. And I'm walking real slow, and I'm like, oh my God. And I thought, I thought in my head, my soul must be on another level, really high, where the aliens were. Because the aliens, when they come to you, they take you, and they take your soul, and they rise you up so high that it's all new. You're never, like, and I remember it through all my experiences, but I never had it like this, walking around. They take you up so high that you're totally disassociated on a soul level from the earth. You don't feel the earth anymore. You're in a new realm, man. They take your soul up that high, and they take you to their realm on a soul level. But still, I'm still here walking around the earth and I ain't even of the earth. I mean, I'm totally off the earth. There's nothing. There's nothing. But I couldn't understand that really in my head when I'm experiencing this. So I'm walking. I'm walking down the alley to the street to grab a bus, and I walk up to a tree, and I reach out and I touch the tree, the bark of the tree, and it's just like I'm touching Play-Doh. It's like nothing. It's just nothing. It's there and I'm touching it, but I can't feel it. I'm not a part of it. The energy in the tree, the energy in the earth, I ain't part of it. And I'm like, it's like I'm touching plastic, but even plastic has energy. It's weird. It's different. Everything I touched, I wasn't a part of it. It was weird. So I'm still spaced out. I'm totally gone. I don't know how to explain it. I walk out, and I look on the road like this, and I'm like, oh, I gotta cross this road. So I finally see a chance where I can go, and I thought I was going fast, right? So I'm walking, and I'm trying to walk. Literally, I'm trying to walk. I'm walking. I start crossing the road, not at an intersection, just across the road. And it's like it's 2-lane road, but there's a lot of cars on it. And as I get past the first part, as I'm coming into the second lane on the other side of the street, I'm walking, and my hands are out, and I'm trying to keep it steady, right? Thinking, okay, I'm gonna get, but it doesn't even feel like I'm gonna get hit by a car. It doesn't even feel like I can be hit by a car or anything. As I'm walking, all of a sudden, I hear car screeching. I look up to right here, and a bus comes sliding up, right up to my nose. Wheels are like that, and the engine's braking, and the air brakes and all that. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the bus driver, and he's like, "Get out of the street, you fucking drug addict idiot!" And I'm like, he goes, "I almost killed you," like that. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm looking at him, and he even real. It's like I'm so disassociated with everything. It's like I'm watching this guy, and my brain is the only thing that's watching it, and he's going. It just doesn't even seem real, man. I'm like, I know what he's saying. He's calling me every name in the book. And so I just turn. I'm like, I better get off the road. This isn't good. So I turn, and I look as I turn in, and all the people on all sidewalks are sitting there staring at me. Because there was people all over the place. People at the bus stop waiting. People on the street waiting. I get on the sidewalk, and I just stand there near the bank, and I was going to get on that. I ain't getting on that bus now. So I'm just standing there going, and the people are looking at me, and I'm looking, the bus takes off. And I'm standing there, and I'm looking, and people are still stopped on the opposite right side of the road beside me, to the left and right. And I'm like, and all of a sudden I could feel the ETs just instantly. Just like, bam. I could just feel it. It was like I was back there again. And I almost got hit that damn bus. Everybody's looking at me, and I'm thinking, man, they don't know. They don't know. And I go, and all of a sudden we just scream. I just screamed out. I go, "You're all in for one hell of a surprise," like that. I screamed it, literally. And the people that were standing next to me, I looked at them when I screamed it and across the street. They all went, oh, like I was fucking crazy. Maybe I was, I don't know. And then they started walking. All I said was, "You're all in for one hell of a surprise," like that. And everything started going again, and I'm in the space slow motion thing going. So I'm walking, and I'm like, I gotta walk to work. So I'm walking slowly, and I get a couple blocks down the sidewalk, and I'm starting to feel again. I realize I can start to feel, and I'm feeling. And pretty soon, after about 4 blocks, I'm almost back to normal. I'm walking good. I'm feeling things again, and I realize I'm coming back down from the soul high I was on. Like the ETs, when I hooked up the ETs, I was way up high. Now as I'm walking, I'm getting grounded again, and I'm getting back on the earth, on the soul level. And I knew that at the time. I knew it. But still, I wasn't ready for it at all. So I started walking, and as I walk more and I get grounded, I start getting angry, right? I get angry. I'm angry at the helicopter. I'm angry. I'm not even angry at the ETs. I'm angry at the helicopter. And the cops. No police came. No nothing. Everything's quiet. And I'm thinking, screw that. I'm going to go to work, and I'm calling the airport. And I'm thinking about what I'm going to say to the airport. And so the people at the airport, whoever they are, I don't know what to do about this shit. So anyway, I walk into work. I turn down Olette. I'm walking. I get to work. And I'm really pissed off. I didn't even get a coffee. I just walked in the back office. So I walk in the back office, and I'm totally pissed off. And I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to bitch and say, what the hell was flying over my house last night? That's what I was going to say to the traffic controller people, whatever the hell they are, in the airport. I'm going to bitch. And then I'm going to call the police, and then I'm going to call the news, and I want to know what this Huey was. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to say anything about UFOs, because I know better. But I want to know why nobody came. The police didn't come. So I'm going to call them up, and I'm going to find out. And so I know for goddamn well, I know damn well that the airport saw the fucking helicopter and knew the helicopter was there. And I want to find out why. I'm going to prove it to myself anyway. I know they did. They picked it up on radar. Of course they did. Fuck. As if they picked that up on radar, and then they picked the fucking UFO up on radar. That goddamn thing would have been a blip. It was like 3 times the size of the fucking helicopter. Anyway, this is all over my house, by the way. The UFO and the helicopter, both over my apartment. I get in the back office, I sit down at my boss's desk. She got a big one of the big office phones. And I grab the phone book, and I'm leaning, looking down like this. I'm leaning in the chair like this, and I'm looking, and it says airport, and I find the airport, Windsor Airport. And I look, and there's like 5, 6 telephone numbers to call. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, so I gotta look the most important guy I can talk to, right? So it's the manager or not tourist shit. I don't want a flight, I want a bitch. So I'm looking, and I find one, I don't know what it was. And I grab the phone, and I dial the number. Right? And so I'm sitting there like this. I'm leaning on the table. I'm thinking, what am I going to think? What am I doing? And I'm looking at the number. I just dialed on the phone thing. And my vision is also at the floor. Okay? I can see in the floor. Because I'm like kitty corner side of the table. And I'm sitting there, and it's ringing. The phone's ringing. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 2 feet with shoes, black shoes, appear beside my foot, with a black form and black legs going down to the shoes. And I'm looking at it, and I'm going, what the fuck? And as soon as I saw that, my whole brain echoed, don't push buttons. And with that, I hung up the phone. And I knew what it meant. And then it instantly disappeared. Don't push buttons. Whoop, and the feet disappeared. Just like that. And I'm like, 5 feet from this spot, there's 30 people drinking coffee. Sounds like a circus out there. And I'm losing my fucking mind. So I at that point, I just started crying. It just poured out. Because I was so fucking mad. I was so mad. And then I had this crazy experience with 2 black feet. There were shoes with stitching. Normal boots, like black type dress pants boot things. I don't know what they're called. I can look them up on Google, I guess. But black legs and the voice took over my brain, my whole brain. I heard it in my spine. Don't push buttons. And then I remembered, push. He pushed me to the street. Basically, the warning was, I could kill you any fucking moment I want. So are you really gonna call the airport? Are you really gonna call the police? Are you really gonna bitch? Put the goddamn phone down, live your life, and shut up. Basically, that's what he said. That's what the message was. I went out, got my coffee, sat out in the street, and just freaked the fuck out for a long time. So, I'm totally paranoid, 100% paranoid, and I spent all day from fucking, it was like, I left the house 9 o'clock, got downtown, got the coffee around 10:30, 11, and from 10:30, 11 till 3, I was walking around paranoid, and I had to work. Man, I was in no shape to work. I went down to the river, and I couldn't talk to anybody. I wanted to kill everybody that looked at me. I wanted to beat the shit out of them. I don't know why. That was another thing I noted. After ET contact, you don't want to see anybody. I remember in school, after these contacts, I was angry at everybody. Don't talk to me, you motherfucker. Don't even say hi, I'll kill you. That's the way I was. And I realized that happened so many times after the ETs came. And I knew it was a psychological byproduct of them affecting me, that my soul just was angry. I just wanted to be alone and sit by a tree. And that's what I did. I found if I sit by a tree for 10-20 minutes, I'll be back to normal. So I went down to the river, found a tree and sat by it, and then I got back to normal. But before that, I didn't want to see anybody. And I was totally paranoid about what just happened to me. And I hate being controlled. And this thing was controlling me. So he stole, whatever it was, this black form, this Men in Black, I don't know. It was real. I physically saw it. I didn't physically hear it. It was meant telepathy. He pushed me. I felt his hands. And very strong dude. And I thought, I'm fucking dead. So I walked around all day, totally paranoid. And then I got to the point, somewhere along that, before I went to work, I thought, I can't live like this, man. There's no way I can live like this. And I can't live like this. And I said to myself, okay, I ain't gonna push buttons. Push buttons. Push your buttons. I don't know the big picture of what's going on with this guy. But if I want to live, I gotta play the rules. And it felt like I'm not a sheep. Like everybody else is a sheep. Doing their thing. They don't know. But I knew. With the ETs. I'm having personal experiences with them. Those people have no fucking clue, and they'll fucking kill you if you talk to them about it, or beat you up, or fucking just call your names and throw stones at you. Maybe that's why he's saying don't push buttons. He's saving my life. I don't know. But it's hard to, man. Anyway, I said to myself, fuck it. I'm not being paranoid. I'm living my life. I ain't gonna go out and push buttons and stir up problems. But goddamn, the helicopter, man, it pissed me off. Pissed me off. So, I was still angry about the helicopter. That's fine. The thing was, I just let go. Was there's nothing I can do about it. My experience with the ETs happened. Leave it at that. Tell my friends, and they'll laugh at me, whatever, or not, whatever. But I ain't gonna stir up the shit. So with that, I went to work. Nothing happened. Went home. The dog scratching at the door. I walked in the house and nothing happened. Everything was fine. Next day, I go to work. Nothing happened. I work up from 3 o'clock till 11. I close up. I'm out the door at 11. I start walking home. Down Wyandotte at 11:30, 12, midnight. I'm walking. And as I'm walking, I'm almost forgot about the whole goddamn deal. I ain't forgot about it, but I'm not of it. I'm not worried about it anymore. I'm not freaking out. I'm just like back to my normal routine. And I wrote it all down on paper, everything that happened at home. I'm walking home. I'm walking down the sidewalk, left-hand side of the street, heading east, down Wyandotte. As I'm walking, all of a sudden I feel this, something on my chest, like a pressure. I'm walking, and it feels like someone's staring at me. But I'm like, I brush it off. I'm like, whatever, right? And I'm walking, and I get to this point. I'll try to put it in Google Earth at this point. As I'm walking, it's building up. The feeling is getting worse and worse and worse. And pretty soon, it's like a beam hitting me right in the chest, right in my heart, right here. And it's pressure right on me. Like there's a fist punching me. Not punching me, but forcing itself on me all the time. And I'm walking, and I'm slowing down, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on, right? And I'm walking, and I can feel the stare. I can feel the stare. It's coming from the other side of the street, that way. It's beaming me from that direction. I can look right at it, at these coming buildings. They're coming up as I'm walking towards them. And whoever is in that building is staring at me from way back there. As I come up to the buildings, the energy starts going like this, right? And so I stop and I turn, and I'm standing here on the sidewalk, looking across the street, and I'm looking in the buildings. And the lights, there's nobody in the building. Windows. I look at all the windows. Some of the lights are on, people living in there. I looked at all the cars, normal cars. Each car, I looked in the windows of every car. No, nothing. The cars were parked on the street. I looked on the roof. of the buildings. Nothing. The staring is coming from right there in that building, and there's nothing there. Nothing. I looked in the stores that were there, the doors. Nobody's on the sidewalk. Nobody's in the windows. Nobody's on the roof. And I'm thinking, well, maybe they're in a parked car in the back alley. Well, I ain't going to check. I ain't going to check if they are. But they're staring at me. There's something staring at me. And I know I'm fucking right. I know I'm right. There is no doubt about it. I'm 100% committed to knowing that there's someone staring at me. And I looked for 5 minutes. I stood there. I had nowhere to go. I look, and I go, what the fuck? What am I going to do? There's got to be something I can do. And I thought, fuck. And I go, they think they got the advantage. Well, maybe they do, right? I don't know. I can't see nothing. When you should be right there. You should be right there in the window, in the car, on the sidewalk, or on the roof. But I don't see them. And these are like 4-story buildings or little 3-story buildings, store shops and apartment buildings. Little apartment, old ones from the 30s. And I'm looking at them, oh, it's driving me nuts. So what I did was, I'm gonna give them the finger and see what happens with this feeling. So I walked out in the middle of this, no cars at all, totally nothing. I walked out on the road of Wyandotte, right on the yellow line, and I remember I put my foot right on the yellow line, so I'm on the middle of the road. And I'm looking, and I look right at the feeling where it was coming from, which was basically a fucking brick wall, which made no fucking sense to me. My eyes were seeing a brick wall and a building, but my heart is seeing this guy staring at me. I couldn't see him spiritually. I couldn't physically see him. I couldn't spiritually see him, but the staring, he was right there staring at me. Couldn't figure it out, guys. Could not figure it out. I swear to God, I look good too. This is what I did. I rose my fingers up. I went like that, put my fingers up high, and twirled around with my fingers up on my arms. And then I stopped to where he's staring at me, and I went, fuck you, like that. Right as you say you're staring at me. I looked right at the spot where it was hitting me, and I went like that, and the feeling went, it disappeared instantly. And then I knew, he knew, and he knew that I knew. Whoever the fuck and whatever the fuck it was. I'm thinking it's the black ops, the cops, the black op cops. But I had no proof, right? It wasn't no crazy man walking down the street with a bottle of liquor. It wasn't no crazy man. It wasn't kids on a bike waiting to rob me. They were just watching me. And I'm thinking, oh shit. So I'm thinking, oh Christ, they bugged my house or something, right? And I go, no, they fucking didn't. So I started walking again. I'm busting my ass. I'm walking fast to get home. I go, my dog's at home. And I'm thinking, if that was the black ops, cops, or whatever the fuck they're called, staring at me, then they sure as shit must have came and investigated me at my house. You know, the guys that in the little van, pretending they're wiring the wires and cable guy and gas guy and whatever the hell they're called. Those guys. That's what I'm thinking these were. But as of yet, nothing came into my house. Nothing's affected my dog or anything, right? So I get home, I run up the back stairs. The feeling is slightly there. I'm slightly sensing it. I run up the stairs, and all of a sudden I realize my dog is not scratching the door. Now every day since I got the dog and in his apartment, she's been scratching the door, and she ripped 2 inches of wood from the bottom of this big ass hardwood door with her nails. Because she hates being in the goddamn place. I gotta leave her there. That kills me. She's not scratching the door. Ding! Red flag number 1. I'm like, son of a bitch, they were in here. I unlock the door, I go in. And I run inside. I grab the crowbar. I'm walking. I check the hallway going downstairs. Nothing there. I walk through the whatever the hell it was to where my bed was, and my dog is on the couch. I slept on the couch. She's at the foot of the couch, shaking. And I knew right there. I dropped the crowbar and just grabbed her and hugged her and kissed her and hugged her and hugged her and kissed her. And then And I knew they knew. So what I did was, I got my dog's food and water, and I wasn't going to take her for a walk at this point. But I did. I grabbed her, we went outside, and we walked around, and I'm thinking, well, she's running around the yards, smelling and having a good time. And I'm thinking to myself, well, they bugged the place, they bugged my house. I'm like, nah, they didn't. I'm like, yeah, they did. Nah, they didn't. And this is, I'm a Gemini, right? I'm always weighing the evidence with everything. And anyway, I'm like, they fucking bugged your house. They came in, they kicked the dog, and they bugged the fucking house. I know they did. The dog was totally not herself. So I know someone was in there. I came back home, and so I put on some music on I had a little ghetto blaster, with big speakers and a CD player. So I started playing some music just to make noise, and I started walking around the house, feeling all the ledges and everything, and I took apart my phone. And I don't even know what the hell I was looking for. If I was to find a bug, I don't know what I was looking for. I checked everything I could. I didn't find nothing. But I know they were listening. So I'm sitting there, and the music's gone. So I grabbed, and then I started talking to them. I'm like, you guys think you're all this, you fucking think you're so cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, you think you got a big secret that aliens exist. Oh, well, guess what? The rest of the planet Earth and the 6 billion people on it also know, you fucking morons. Now, I could go on like that for the next 45 minutes, but I ain't gonna. I'm just gonna tell you, I can make a good swearing video of what I felt, and I did. I put on Napalm Death. Now, have you ever heard of the band Napalm Death? Go on YouTube, click on Napalm Death, and listen to it. That's what I was listening to when I went off on them. Basically, I ripped up a new one, and I'm like, you fucking guys think you are protecting us poor people, and I go, you two are the biggest, dumbest fucking slaves on the planet working for the fucking devil. Your fucking master. You're a piece of shit. I go, you think you're all cool because you know that ETs, extraterrestrials, come to the earth. Ooh. Wow. He knows extraterrestrials. I go, do you ever fucking stop and think extraterrestrials exist? Do you stop and think that fucking Jesus Christ exists? And guess what? You're fucked. Everything you've done is coming back on your ass. I go, sit back and think about that, you stupid fucking black ops little boys. You fucking moron. And I was so mad. You wouldn't even believe it. I'm mad. I'm still mad today. I'm like, you have no fucking idea what's really going on. You think you're the shit because you picked up some goddamn thing on a radar and you know that your government, your master, told you ETs exist, and now you gotta go out and investigate and terrorize us. And I go, stuff like that. But I was like, basically just like Napalm Death. And then I was so mad, I couldn't go to sleep. I'm walking around in circles in my fucking house, screaming at the fucking walls. But I know they were listening. I grab my dog, and I go, since you bugged my fucking house, you can listen to this. Bam! I hit the play button on Napalm Death. I cranked it up to fucking 8, and the house was rocking. I grabbed my dog and left. So I left for another hour. Walked around the bushes, walked around the up and down the street for a while. Because I was so pissed I couldn't sleep. I come back home. The CD was over. Then I went to bed. And I ripped them. Guys, you didn't even believe it. Oh, it felt so good. Then, I even told him about the man in black. I go, I don't know what the fucking man in black thing is that was bothering me. And I don't know if you know him, but he just saved my ass from you fuckers. So, fuck you. Either he saved my ass or he was sent by you. I didn't know either way. Probably will never know. But I'm thinking he saved me from stop pushing buttons. The Men in Black thing. Anyway, I went to sleep, nothing else happened. I go to work the next day. I'm at work. And I'm working with a co-worker named Dawn. Her name's Dawn. I'm working with her for a half an hour. She's going to leave in a half an hour. And my friend James is coming into work. So, me and Dawn are working at 4 o'clock. She's leaving at 4:30, and at 5 o'clock James is coming in. So we're working. The store is empty. Empty. I'm still upset about what happened with my dog, and my dog's at home again. I'm still upset. I'm totally juiced, man. So I told Lon the story about what happened with the Men in Black thing, with the Black Ops and the helicopter and the UFO. I told her the whole story, just short form. Didn't tell her the whole thing. She goes, "Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. I don't know about all that stuff." Blah 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 blah. She goes, "I think you're fucking crazy myself." She goes, "Well, you gotta prove it. You gotta prove it, Rich." She goes, "Well, she's nice. She's a nice person." She goes, "You gotta prove this shit." And I'm like, "I know, but what do I do, right? What can I do?" She goes, "I don't know, but if you're telling these crazy stories like this, you gotta prove it." I'm like, "I know, son of a bitch. I know. You think I've been doing this my whole fucking life? You don't think I fucking know?" So she's cleaning the mochaccino machine, whatever the hell it was, not the ice machine that makes icy drinks. I'm cleaning. I have to grind coffee beans. I'm grinding coffee beans. All of a sudden, the door opens up. 2 guys walk in. And they're big guys. They're like normal guys. And they walk in, they grab a newspaper off the bar near the window. They walk in, they sit right at the center. And they sit there. And I'm grinding beans, right, for coffee beans. I look over at Dawn. She's looking at me and she goes, I'm like, I ain't going over there. I ain't serving them. Now, the way things work, you come into the store, you come up to the counter, order your coffee, go sit down and we'll bring it to you, or you stand there and wait for it. Either way, we never serve. It's not, we don't, unless you're a real old grandma, we don't have to go and fucking, well, we do, but everybody, common sense, come to the counter, right? But so I'm not going to serve them. I'm like, God damn, right? They're both dressed in black, white shirt, and a tie, a black tie, sunglasses, and crew cut fucking hair. And I'm like, and one guy was a little fat, chubby, and I'm like, and they're both, and I'm looking at them, and they're both, they haven't said a word to each other. They both walked in, sat down, opened the paper, and started reading it. Who does that? Nobody does that, right? Nobody. I'm like, holy shit. It ain't clicked in. It hasn't clicked in for me. I haven't clued in yet. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? What is this about? What's going on? This is too weird, man. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, I went, ding, the light went off my head. Yesterday, I gave them the finger, telling them to fuck off. No, I was telling them, I knew they were staring at me and following me, and I gave them the finger. And this is their response. And I go, oh, napalm death, holy shit. And I told them last night, look, I'm like, crowbar. I look underneath there's a crowbar underneath the cash register. It's right there. Okay, good. Not like it's going to stop a bullet. right? Man, I don't know. But I got it. I'm getting a piece of them before I die. So I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta prove this. Dawn was telling me I gotta prove it. I go, Dawn, remember the conversation? Oh, we're over there. I go, Dawn. She goes, yeah. I go, she goes, you gonna serve them guys? I'm not getting the fucking serving them guys. Look at their killers. She goes, well, I ain't fucking serving them. They're scary dudes. And I go, you think? And I go, listen to what I gotta say. She goes, what? And I go, remember that fucking story I told you? I go, yesterday I gave them the finger and I was playing napalm death and I told them to fuck off because they bugged my house. She goes, yeah. And I go, that's them. And she went, she got it, man. Her fucking jaw went like that. And I go, she goes, you gotta prove it, you gotta prove it. I go, I know, I'm gonna prove it. She goes, how? And I go, I'm gonna tell you. She's always ahead of me, right? She's freaking out. And I go, this is what I'm gonna do. Now you gotta play along with me. I'm gonna go back over there and grind beans like nothing happened. She goes, okay. And I'm gonna scream out, hey Don, I saw a UFO the other day. And she goes, I'm gonna scream that out to you. And you just play along, okay? So I'll say to you, hey Don, guess what? And you say, what? And I go, I don't know, I saw a UFO the other day. And then you watch their reaction when I say that. We should have a reaction out of them. When you say that, right? When I say that, she goes, yeah, that'd be great. And so she's all like, oh, excited and everything, right? I go, Don, this is fucking real, man. This is really happening. And she goes, okay. She goes, well, they can't do anything to us. We're downtown. It's lunch. It's 4 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. So I go back over to the beans, turn on the coffee bean grinder, and they're still sitting there, reading the paper. I grind the beans, and I'm thinking, oh God, I was trying to shake. Well, I got butterflies, crowbars right there. And I'm grinding another set of beans, folded up. And I turned off the grinder. Oh no, I had the grinder on. Yeah, because I screamed really loud. And it was just going like that. The grinder. I wasn't grinding any beans in it, but the machine was on. I go, hey, Don! And I screamed. I go, hey, Don! And she turns and she goes, what, Rich? And I go, guess what? And she goes, what? I'm laughing. She's a drama queen, right? She always thinks she's in the movies and she's acting or something. So she's doing that. She's playing a part, but overdoing it. And I go, guess what? She goes, what? I went, I saw a UFO the other day. As soon as I said that, the two guys closed the newspaper, slammed it on the table, and stood up and stared at me. And I'm standing beside the grinder. I'm just standing there. They're looking at me through the fucking sunglasses. Oh, I wanted to crowbar them sunglasses right off their head. After. I'm in shock. This is real. Oh, fuck. They're standing there. They stood up. They're both staring at me now. And I'm standing there going, with the coffee beans. And they both turned and walked out the door like robots. They didn't even talk to each other. They just, together, left. It was really weird. Then they walked out the door. And they didn't even look at Dawn. As they went out, I'm looking at Dawn, and she's like, holy fuck! She comes running, she goes, Red! She wants to give me a hug or something. She's coming. She goes, you're gonna die! She hugs me. She goes, well, fuck you. My shift is over. See ya. And I'm like, you fucking ain't leaving me. You ain't leaving me. I grabbed her, pulled her back behind the car and said, you can't go. She goes, I'm fucking leaving. You can't stop me. You're gonna die. They're gonna come back and kill you. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, oh no, man, we can't leave. She left. And she goes, well, look, James is gonna be here soon, any minute. I'll lock the door when you let me out. There's no customers coming. Just stand here and let customers in, but you can't let them in. And I'm like, that way you'll be safe. And I'm like, okay. So I lock the door after she leaves. And I'm standing there, I'm waiting. James comes eventually, and he's knocking on the door. What the hell's going on? James is like this overbearing guy, you know, big barrel chest, overbearing guy. What the hell's going on? That type of guy. So I unlock the door, and he's like, what the hell's going on here? He's like, why's this goddamn door locked? What's going on? And I'm like, shut up, James. You know, James is so in reality, right? You don't talk to James about UFOs and Men in Black and Black Ops. Because he just thinks he's just calling you nuts, right? And I'm like, you don't need to know. I had to lock the door. I had to go to the bathroom. Whatever. I met him. He goes, well, goddamn, yeah, look, customers. And I go, shut up, dude. I'm your fucking boss. And he's like, there ain't no bosses. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Just forget about it. So after that was done, oh, it was crazy. After that was all over with, I had to walk home. So here I am walking home. The feeling, I could feel them, but there was no direct staring. It was more like a hum, a buzz around me or something. At 11:30 at night, midnight, walking home by myself. Fuck, it was brutal. So, the next day, nothing happened that day. Well, the next day, nothing happened. The day after that, nothing happened. The next day, at work, I was at work, totally forgot about 2 days later, maybe 3, I can't remember. Everything, I think it was 2 days. I almost totally forgot about the experience. I'm back to normal with all that shit. I'm working, and I don't know if I was working with someone or I was alone, but it was like 8 o'clock in the coffee shop. And there was a couple people in there, not a lot. And I'm back to normal, so I'm just doing my routine, getting through the day. All of a sudden, I start feeling a pressure on my chest. And I noticed it. But I'm working. I can't stop and think about it. So I work for another half an hour. Another hour. And it's slowly building. Getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And all of a sudden, soon as I'm working, I keep catching, and I went back to it. And it's really strong. And the red flags are going off. Beep, 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 you know. And all of a sudden I'm having flashbacks of when the Black Ops guys are staring at me on the street. So here I am in the coffee shop, and I'm being stared at. And it's hitting me hard. It's hitting me just as hard as the Black Ops were. And I'm thinking, it's the Black Ops, it's the Black Ops. And I don't know what to do about it. And what I did was, this is what I did. I stopped working, and I could feel it. And so what I did was I turned left, and I felt it go like that. And I turned right, and I felt it go like that. The energy hitting my chest. So as I turned, the energy as soon as I was facing the beam of energy, the focus of the energy, it was coming from this direction. Because I turned left and it would go like that. And I turned right and it would go like that. So what I did was I just turned left and right until I narrowed it down. And it was like a beam coming out of the wall and hitting me in the chest. Someone's staring at me. And so I'm facing it. And it was just the wall there. And my brain's going, what? How? Ooh, what? And I couldn't figure it out. And as I stood there facing the one direction, it got even stronger because I zeroed into it. My brain, right? I don't want to go, fuck, it ain't over. Here it goes again. Here we go again. I'm thinking, man, the black MIB thing. What's going on? What's going to happen next? I didn't know. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Could it be the Men in Black? Maybe. Probably. No one else has been doing this. It ain't the ETs. They're totally different. So I'm sitting there, and I didn't know what to do. And I go, wait a minute. Why don't I just, because I know spiritual stuff, some of it, and I'm not totally Jesus here, but I can do some spiritual work. I said, well, I'm going to check out, standing right here, and I'm going to look down the tube. And I'm going to will myself to him. Whoever's on the other side, making that feeling. There'll be someone focusing on me, and I'll be able to see him spiritually, who it is. So I'm like, oh, I've done it. I astral travel. I project my consciousness to my friends, see what's going on. I can do this. I know I can do it. Done it. With physical, I'll project my consciousness, see what my friends watching on TV. I'll call them on phone, say, hey, how's the hockey game going? How the hell do you know the hockey game's on? How do you know I'm eating ice cream? Right? And I go, well, I'm projecting my consciousness and I'm looking at you. And they're like, I just wanted to confirm it. They're like freaking out. They're freaking right out. And I go, don't worry, Hank, I'll leave your girlfriend alone. She's hot, by the way. Anyway, this guy's staring at me, so I know I can do it. So what I did was, I pretended I'm sleeping and meditated. I just stayed there and I quickly meditated. So it's like a switch, and you're out. So I click the switch and I'm looking and I'm feeling it. And it's like a beam. And I follow it. I go, basically I will myself follow this beam. So I grabbed the beam with my spirit arms, grabbed the beam, and I followed it. And I'm just basically traveling through blackness, following this beam. All of a sudden it turned in, and I'm standing in a room. It's like an office room. It's got walls. It's like a big jail cell, but it's an office. And all I see is a room with a door, a desk, and a guy meditating with his eyes closed, and the beam is coming right from him, and he's beaming me. He's got a piece of paper and a pencil, and he's drawing shit. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And the guy, he's sort of fat. He's fat. He's got a beard. More beard than this. And he's got short hair. And as I got closer to him, I knew I just got it from him. This is a remote viewer. Remote viewing me in the coffee shop. Just like, and I listened to Art Bell, so I know what the remote viewers, the Ingo Swans that work for the military remote viewing. And he was in, from the direction I was facing, he was in Pennsylvania, Ohio. Now, I have to cross southern Ontario, cross Lake Erie. And he was in Ohio. I think it's Ohio or Pennsylvania. Either one. And I knew it. I could feel the land. I could feel him where he was. as I'm looking at him. And he's sitting there, his head's up, staring right at me. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding. I thought I was the only one who could do this. And I knew all this happened to me. Just as I'm looking. It's the truth. I got tingles. I know it was the truth. He's staring at me. And I'm going, you motherfucker. I go, you working for the military. How now? How is Joe Schmo in the United States know about my ET contact? The Black Ops. They got him to do spiritual remote viewing on me. Didn't they? Of course they did. Of course they did. And I go, okay, you son of a bitch. I go, so I'm looking at him, and a customer comes in, and I'm standing there, I'm meditating at the cashier, the cashier's here, and I'm looking left to the wall, staring, and I go, and I knew I had to go. I had to go real fast. And I go, okay, you son of a bitch. So I went right up to him, I'm looking him in the face like this, like he's here, and I'm like looking at him, and I go, hey, Mr. Remote Viewer. And he's looking at me, and I go, remote view this. Instantly, he went, all I seen was him go, ah, like that. And I went back to me, and the feeling was gone. So when I punched him in the face, I so much wanted him to see this goddamn video. Fuck you if you do. So, that was it. Now, after I punched him out, there was nothing else that happened. They could have still been watching. I had no evidence of it. That was it. More things happened in Windsor along the same lines as like this story, but years later. But for now, this is what happened. Now, I think about this experience I had, and the thing is this: the MIB, whatever, the Man in Black Dimensional Jumper guy. Okay, he came with one, two, skip a day, 3. He knew I was gonna have this ET experience 3 days before it happened. He came 3 days before it happened. The time he pushed me on the bus, when I was waiting for the bus by the bank, he pushed me. That was the day. That night, the ETs came in the black helicopter as a response. So, how in the hell did that thing, whatever it was a spirit entity, dimensional, whatever, I don't know. How did it know? 3 days in advance. 3 fucking days in advance. Awesome. Awesome to think about. He knew 3 days in advance that this. Now, I always thought throughout your day, your reality changes with every thought and action you take. Right? You're walking down the street, go left, go right, wash the car, do this, talk to this person, go with your friend, go shopping, do this. Every thought changes the course of your reality. But 3 days in advance, this fucker knew the ETs were coming. So shit is placed in your timeline. Imagine your life as a timeline. Events are gonna occur in that fucking timeline. The ETs were coming on my timeline 3 days in advance. He came out to warn me 3 times. 3. Fascinating. Now you can call me fucking crazy. You can call me whatever. The shit happened. I fucked it. It happened. Word for word, as you fucking heard it here. It happened. End of story. Thing is, so I think back on of all the things that happened, and that thing that came out of the middle of nowhere pushed me. Was it a spirit guide? Was it a neutral thing? Was it a bad thing? I don't know. It didn't kill me. It could have. The power it had, it could have cut my throat. Could have pushed me up in front of a fucking train. Picked me up and dropped me in front of the fucking train. Man, but it didn't. All it did, the only thing it wanted me to do was not stir up shit with the government, the officials. But the officials, the unofficial officials, came around anyway, the men in black, or the black ops. The only thing it did, the MIB, if it was one, didn't want me to do was call the airport, call the police. Didn't want me to go that way. Didn't want me to go that way. That's why he showed up and said, don't push buttons. That's why he pushed me in front of the bus. That's why he walked behind me twice in a coffee shop. Now, question, that happened. I think whatever this thing was, knew in advance, cause and effect. Because he came, right? So it's cause and effect. So he came 3 days later. He knew the ETs were coming. And he knew my reaction to it. And he knew my reaction to the black ops. I was okay with the ETs. I've been dealing with them my whole life, never had a problem. Well, other than they're fucking scary to my ego. But the thing is, he knew my reaction would be fucking hostile towards the helicopter. And he knew that the fucking black ops would be following me, and he knew they would confront me in the coffee shop. Is that why he pushed me in the coffee shop? I don't know. He knew I would have an event on the street at the bank where I'd walk out in the street totally dissociated and almost get hit by that bus. Is that why he pushed me at that spot? At that fucking bus stop? He was actually changing things that happened. Because they were going to happen in a certain way he didn't like, or it wasn't in my best interest. So he came in and changed by him scaring the shit out of me before anything happened at that bus stop. It changed what was going to happen. Now, you go back and listen to the story about the bus stop. I'm lighting a cigarette. He came and pushed me. When I was dissociated coming down the stairs, I walked out and I almost got hit by the bus. I told everybody you're in for one big fuck of a surprise. What was really going to happen if he didn't push me there? What would have happened? Would I have been hit by the bus? Would I have been arrested, put in fucking jail for freaking out on everybody? I don't know. But in the coffee shop, he showed up 2 times, 2 days in a row, exact same time. The black ops came in the coffee shop at the exact same time, and there were 2 of them. He walked behind me twice. 2 black ops came in at the 4:30, at between 4 and 4:30, with me and Don. When he walked behind me, he was between 4 and 4:30. 2 times in a row. Do you see where I'm going? He changed the course of events. What happened if he didn't scare the shit out of me by pushing me and walking behind me? What would have happened if he didn't do that? the black ops would have walked in, sat down at the table, and I would have said, "Hey, are you real?" I was hostile towards them. I hate these fuckers. I still do. What would have happened if altercation broke out and Don was there and they got their guns and I got my crowbar? I would have fought to the death, man. Death. My fucking gizzard would have been hanging out. My eyeballs hanging out. And I still would have been pounding until my last fucking bullet hits me in the brain. Every fucking breath. Did he change the events? 3 days, 2 days before in that coffee shop? Do you see where I'm going? Fascinating, man. So you know there's other dimensions, spiritual dimensions, other physical dimensions. The aliens, they come from another physical dimension, come into this fourth dimension, and do spiritual work on you. But you can see the ship physically, and you can see them spiritually. In my case. Then you say, well, that was one crazy fucking acid trip. You know, I ain't even on acid, I ain't smoking, I ain't drinking, I ain't doing nothing, I'm working. And then, for confirmation, you wake up in a dream of a helicopter, you wake up and the fucking thing's over your house, you go out and you look at it. Then the black ops show up. So it's all, I've been thinking about this for 30 years, man. Plus with other experiences I've had, but that was if you look at it as if you look at it, the whole experience as a dream, and you can see the cause and effects. Now the interloper, black entity, he came in and changed the programmed course of events. So I would stay alive at the end of it all. There's no other reason for him to be there and tell me not to push buttons. He was changing the course of events, my actions. Because every time I was confronted by the black ops, every time, or when I was getting hit by the bus, every time I was having a major incident on that timeline, it would have changed for the worst. He came in on that timeline and saw where I lost. But he came in, woke me up subconsciously on that fucking timeline to change the course of events that would have happened. And I would have been dead. Maybe. Or not good off. not doing well. So, unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. If you think about it. It's fucking madness. I love it. You know, think about that. It just blows my mind. Anyway, guys. Oh, and I went and did some Google searches and YouTube searches and all this stuff. And I think I found the son of a bitch who was remote viewing me. And he has a video. He has videos on YouTube. Now, I'll put it in the description of who I think it was. If I can find the videos again. When I do, I'll put them in the description here. And you can check them out. Because I know what the guy looked like. I punched in the face spiritually. And damn, I was doing remote viewing. Ingo Swan guys and military remote viewers and all that. And I found some bitch. Looks just like him. Just like him. So anyway, with that said, awesome experience. One I don't want to repeat. But I learned a lot from it. And I learned that I'm at the bottom of the fucking totem pole. Well, not totally. I'm like one up of the totem pole. But at least that MIB kept me alive. That was nice. If it was an MIB, I don't think it was the Men in Black. It was a black dimensional spirit guy, but he was brutal anyway. He didn't give a shit. I'm showing you here. I'll fucking kill you if you talk. If you stir up shit publicly, I'll fucking kill you. And just to let you know, I'm pushing you. I opened the fucking street, and he did. God damn, right where that bus was. So, there you go, guys. Quite a goddamn awesome experience. Talk to you later.